Welcome back to State of the Nation. The Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Customs Service has explained what gave rise to the ban on imports of vehicles to Nigeria through land borders. In the past 3 years, revenues for the custom dwindled from 144 billion naira to 86 billion naira, resulting in a shortfall for the customs revenue generation. In tackling this, it went into agreement with the government of Benin Republic, saying that they will need to tackle this issue, but the government of Benin Republic reneged on the agreement, prompting the government of Nigeria to take a decision that all cars should come in through Nigerian ports instead. The importers are not too happy about that judgment, and this is what they had to say.
Sales of imported used cars is big business in Benin City. Everywhere you go, you will find cars put on display for sale. The decision by the federal government to ban the importation of cars by land from January does not sit well with these car dealers.
Ban of the car, we can't do our trade anymore. We can't do our trade anymore. Or you want us to go back to smuggling, where we don't normally pay duty before.
How many of us has the license to travel to America or Europe to import vehicle through into this country? We have a neighboring country here because why? Our clearing price here is just too exorbitant. A container is about 3,100 euro from Europe to Africa. You are not talking about the clearing. Clearing initially was about 1.2 million, 1.3 million, but today you will pay 2.8 million, still you will not see your container. So how do you sell the vehicle inside?
We are traveling to Cotonou, buy car there, pay duty to Nigeria government. At the end of the day, I want to close the same land border. For what for? Is he helping Nigeria or is taking us back to hardship? So we should ask our president, what is the real problem? Why is he decide to treat us in this manner?
The said government should have provided alternatives for the ban.
He said we can import from America. I don't know the road to America. How many of us that know the road to America? How many of us can go there? Assembly plant. Since for long we have been hearing about these things. We are the one in the east, the one in the north. Where are the vehicles? Look at the road now. We are talking about practical here. You see, look at the road, look at everywhere. How many of those cars on the highway? How many of the cars in town? And are they durable?
We don't produce even tire in this nation. We don't produce even the rim, not to talk of the engine, or neither the body, or even the glass. All these things are imported. Then you want to ban the vehicle. Now you are abandoning the brand new, you are abandoning the Tokumbo. Which one do you produce for those people that you abandon? Or we don't need to move from one place to another? Or should we trek from Benin to Lagos?
For these car dealers, nothing short of a reversal of the plan would suffice.
Well, you heard it there. Now, Tunde Keshiro, an auto industry analyst as well as a maritime stakeholder, joins me on State of the Nation to look at this. I want to thank you so much indeed for coming on the show. Where do we begin from? You heard what the complaints are. Government, why do you want to hurt us this bad? Where should have been the starting point before this policy is made to go through?
Thank you for accommodating me in the program. To us, listening to comments made and looking at the scenario in the industry and the market, I take it that they've reacted based on the available information and the available understanding of the industry they have. The policy taken by government in terms of restriction of importation of vehicles to Nigerian seaports is laudable, is a courageous move that we must all support as Nigerians. Particularly at this period that government is looking at all avenues to create employment, to increase non-oil revenue, and increase the local economic well-being of all Nigerians. It is necessary for us as a people to first understand that of all things we partake as individuals and as group, we must locate a national interest. And I think that's where I want to respond to some of the comments we've had. We must take it back that as Nigerians, for every activity we engage in, we must give through our economy a leverage so that government can enhance, I would say, enhance the asset, our national asset, in a way that it can impact on our collective well-being. Now, talking about the port as an institution as a national asset, and goods, particularly vehicles, are imported to Nigerian seaports. we are not looking at just custom duty alone. There are elements of Nigerian produce, there are elements of NIMASA fees, there are elements of employment to the direct port worker, the clearing agent.
Those are fees all paid?
Of course, these are fees that are all paid.
Is this inclusive in the 35% increase?
Now, talking about the duty rate, that's a different ballgame. First is to look at the capacity of Nigerian seaport. Do we have the capacity to handle the trade? Yes, we have the capacity to handle the trade. Particularly within the last 10 years, the government, in its wisdom, concessioned out the ports to private operators as to increase the capacity of available port facilities. So today, unlike what we had, I would say 2005, prior to 2006, when private operators were allowed to participate in our port, in cargo handling in our seaport, we have increased cargo handling capacity, that the throughput capacity of our ports have really increased. Of course, by 2014, when the new automotive policy, which was aimed to increase local production of new vehicles, was implemented, duty rate was changed, cost of clearance went up. But from before the new policy as at 2013, for cars and vans, for instance, the duty rate was 20%. And for commercial vehicles, we're talking of buses, trucks, 5%, 10%.
But how competitive is our ports compared to neighboring ports, Benin Republic, for example?
Well, our port is very competitive. The only aspect of it has to do with some of the clearance process and cost that has to do with, with our internal dynamics. And that's where, if you start to look at Benin Republic recognize the fact that they need to align their port to take advantage of Nigerian market. Allow me to step back a bit. If you begin to look at diversion of cargo to Benin Republic or to another neighboring seaport, it did not commence in 2014. It's been a part of our national trade. And that's more reason why we should commend this government, because the first time the government is taking the bold step to reverse Nigerian trade back to Nigerian seaport so that it can be beneficial to Nigerian seaport. For instance, before 2013, for vehicles being imported to Nigeria for other reasons, and these other reasons has to do basically with the clearance process, the time it's taking, the cost. Yeah, they mentioned the cost. The duty rate to Nigerian market seems to be high. Seems to be high in the sense that when you look at the mode of transportation available for passengers, goods, services, we are all restricted to land mode. Our waterways, we can assess the level of waterways, even within Lagos. Now that Christmas is there, let's check the number of people being transported by water to the south-south, for instance, not to talk of even moving within Lagos. Equally, when you look at rail, to what level have we exploited or utilized our rail to our maximum advantage? So everything is, majority of our movement is on land transportation, meaning that vehicle and our vehicular need is a necessity. It's not a luxury.
How do you make it easy on the importers then?
Well, to us, to cut it with the way government, there are three elements of port cost. I will quickly highlight this. There is a carrier, which has to do with the shipping company that Nigerians generally recognize as the shipping companies. There is the port operator handling the ports on behalf of NPA, and they have automated their processes, they have improved their capacity. The tariff is on the website, is open for all to see. Now that brings us to government, because government is an interested party. And the face of government...
I'm afraid that we're going to have to bring you back at some point to look at this further. I want to thank you so much indeed, Tunde Keshiro, an auto industry analyst and maritime stakeholder, for talking to us on State of the Nation concerning the subject. And thanks indeed to you as well for watching. Keep a date with us same time next week for a fresh package. I'm Gimba Omar, and this is State of the Nation.